Ever wondered if you could shrink the epic battles of Avatar down to Lego size and still feel the intensity? We are not just building.
We are pushing the limits of brick-built storytelling to capture bioluminescent chaos, motion, and creatures from this alien world.
Even at this tiny scale, the light has to feel alive, or Pandora just does not read as Pandora. We are mixing real light with plastic color to fake that bioluminescent glow.
We will build a daytime version, a full bioluminescent night mode, and pockets for creatures and battles to play out. This tree is our anchor, the place where quiet moments and the largest clashes will both meet up. These tiny tendrils will frame characters later and catch the light like they are part of a living network.
Here is our map of Pandora in bricks. A flight zone, a ground charge lane, and a confrontation ring around the tree.
These floating mountains will give our flying creatures real altitude to dive from and weave through.
Layering foreground branches and background cliffs lets these little shots still feel like a deep world.
Clear supports and smart angles let this little creature read like it is actually flying.
Just by tilting the rider and the wings, we get a much more intense read on this dive.
We are faking motion blur with speed, layers, and parallax instead of any digital effects.
The quiet shots matter too. This open space is where we will feel the before and after of the battle.
Even though these figures barely move, their poses can still lean toward tension and focus.
Longer, slower shots like this give the audience a second to breathe between all the fast action beats.
Humans read as harsher right away, just from shapes and colors, even at Lego scale. This is our geography shot, the Lego version of a big, wide battle frame.
We are planning a dive from above, a ground charge up the middle, and a final clash right here at the tree. Each of these draws turns into a Lego shot: the dive, the pass over the tree, and the ground reaction. Is the storyboarded dive, translated straight into bricks and camera motion. Same moment, different perspective. Now we are on the ground with the Na'vi watching the dive.
For the fire, we only need tiny studs on clear rods, but grouped together they read like a full volley.
Near misses like this add danger without actually breaking the build or the character. We are showing damage mostly through the environment here, using broken ground instead of injured characters. Once we show a crater like this, it has to stay or grow. We never magically reset the battlefield.
Every small change, like this crater and moved foliage, now becomes part of the story we have to respect.
Advancing them a few studs at a time feels like blocking extras on a live-action set. Eye lines shrill matter. Even here, the Na'vi need to be looking toward the threat we just showed. Can you feel a little of that big screen energy yet? Even though everything is the size of your hand? Now we add a vertical threat, a human vehicle that can sit above all this jungle chaos.
We designed this to sit on clear supports so it can hover in shots without any digital erasing.
Moving piece up here lets us tie the Na'vi, the RDA, and the tree into a single frame.
By just moving the lens like a pilot, we get the feeling of a cockpit without building the whole interior.
Just a light shift like this can sell a massive object overhead, even if you never see it in frame.
One tiny stud, one clear rod, and suddenly you feel a full arrow shot in motion. We keep trading hits with the world itself, so the scene feels violent without smashing our key builds.
Gravity gives us an easy story tool. Anything that falls wants to feel dangerous on the way down.
That fallen rock is now cover, so every shot from here on has to remember it exists.
Here is the fun part. Comparing the original composition to the Lego version and asking if it still feels epic.
Is our big Lego battle frame. Tree, floating rock, air, and ground, all fighting for your eye at once.
Even in fast cuts, we keep the same landmarks. It is chaos, but it is trackable chaos. Pulling one beat out in slow detail keeps the story readable, even when everything around it is loud.
Just a few degrees of tilt in these weapons tells us they have locked onto that dive.
The more studs we stack into one shot, the more it feels like the air is full of fire.
We keep dodging the heroes, but not the set, letting the world take the beating instead. Now the environment is pushing back, trapping the invaders by their own flying debris. When you look from above, you can see every decision frozen into this little battlefield.
No matter how messy it gets, we keep coming back to one symbol, the tree at the heart of all this.
The question is, can you still feel that instinct to protect something important, even when it is all just tiny bricks?
Away from the main clash, we can still carve out little pockets of village life on the same scarred ground.
Walking the camera through here at character height makes this little corner feel like its own place.
Giving the flyers a place to land lets us show them resting, not just always in attack mode.
We route this path around the existing damage, so the history of the battle stays visible in calmer scenes.
Just by shifting their stance and where we put the lens, the same ground turns from combat zone into a path home.
The glow is doing a lot of work here. You almost forget this is just studs and plates at the root of a tree. All these side spaces plug into the same build, so the world can expand without ever leaving the table.
Putting our lead figures up here lets us feel them watching the same space we just spent all that time building.
Tiny details like this plant help glue cuts together. It is a landmark your brain holds on to. With the world laid out, we can crank the motion back up and see if the tiny scale can still carry big energy. Little jumps in position frame to frame read as sprinting when the camera is low and fast enough. On the human side, we re-block them through the same obstacles, like extras weaving through a crowded set. Treat this like an aerial chase shot, but every frame is still just plastic moved by hand. Crossing paths like this stacks motion on motion, which is how you fake big budget energy on a tiny set. We are cutting fast, but the crater, the tree, and the rocks keep you oriented every time we jump.
Here we fake a follow shot by dragging the camera along the path we already carved into the terrain. Cross-cutting point of view like this keeps the clash feeling mutual, not just one-sided.
Shots like this stack air and ground together so the scale feels bigger than the footprint on the table.
These tiny insert shots are cheap to shoot, but add a lot of texture and rhythm to the action. This is as busy as we can make it without losing track of who is where around the tree.
We keep teasing impact without constantly rebuilding. Near hits still tell you the stakes are high.
Running the camera through the crater turns a piece of damage into a whole new shot path.
We stack speed, height, and reaction to squeeze the most drama out of every pass. We start freezing the pieces in place now, so the last shots can feel like true aftermath. not just a pause.
The ground remembers everything. We are not resetting a single plate from what the battle did to it. Pieces that fell as attacks now settle into props the characters can lean on and live around.
We do not need big destruction shots to end a fight. Sometimes just turning the figures around is enough.
Letting the flyers settle tells your brain the worst of the storm has passed, even without dialogue from them.
In one glide, we can move from a safe perch to a scarred clearing and feel that they are still one place. The tree at Elf has not moved, but the story around it has bent these pieces into a new pattern.
This is the frozen final frame our whole miniature war has been drifting toward.
With everything finally at rest, we can step back and ask what worked and what broke when we shrank this world. On this one, the color and layout carry over pretty well, but we lose a bit of fine detail in the faces.
Motion and lighting survive the translation best. Tiny emotional beats in eyes and hands are harder at this scale.
When you see the Lego version alone like this, does your brain still tag it as the same scene you know?
Try watching these clips like they are their own thing. Do they still hit as a fast, high-stakes sequence?
Some shots clearly shrink down better than others, but overall, it feels like this tiny set can still carry a lot of weight.
We pushed light, camera, and sound as far as we could here just to see where Lego holds up and where it cracks.
So, did this tiny brick-built Pandora actually feel epic to you, or does some magic only live on a full-size screen?